Yeah, baby. Welcome to a Friday morning. It's Tone the Bone. How you doing? You doing good? A little chilly outside. Feels good out this morning. Got some great college football to talk about here in just a few seconds. Want to thank a bunch of people. First of all, the fine folks at Fox 6 WBRC. We were on yesterday with Janice Rogers and Mike Deverly. I love Fox 6, man. They're the coolest TV station we have here in town. They understand what Kurre and Claypo does. They understand what I do. They like to have fun. They like to laugh. It's not all serious. We talked about cheating in sports yesterday. It was fantastic. You can check out many of our websites and, of course, the Tony Kurre Radio on social media and see all of those clips. It was fantastic. Also, I want to thank Workplay. We're getting ready for our big old Halloween party with David Merlin, who's a paranormal illusionist. He's one of the best. He's been on AGT. He's been on cruise ships. He's worked with Simon Cowell, Penn and Teller, David Copperfield. He's done it all. He's going to be doing a special one-nighter down at Workplay on October 29th. That's a Saturday night. He'll be doing a big show. They'll have some live entertainment down there. And our good friend Elvira, this Elvira is not the original Elvira, but I'd say she's better than the original Elvira. Buddy Little and Trina Nadler, good morning to you. She looks like Elvira did when Elvira first started coming out. I'll just say that. She'll be down there doing autographs, sitting on laps and doing the whole 9 yards down there at Workplay. Go to workplay.com for $25 tickets and you're good to go. Should be a large time here. Some birthdays today. You know who Greg Evigan is? I don't know why I remember the show so much. Remember BJ and the Bear? I was only on there for like a couple of years. I don't know what it was about. I don't know what it was about that show that I loved so much because I was like 13 or 14 or something like that. But anyway, Greg Evigan was the truck driver in BJ and the Bear. And again, I thought it was on for like 10 years. It was only on for 2 years. But you know, the monkey in the show, the bear, you know who he's named after? Bear Bryant. Just telling you. Also, Justin Hayward from the Moody Blues turned 76 today. Dan McCafferty. Ring a bell with anybody? Dan McCafferty turned 76. He, of course, was the lead singer of Nazareth. I love that Hair of the Dog song. And Cliff Richard has a birthday today. Cliff Richard was interesting because, you know, everyone knows how big the Beatles were, but Cliff Richard actually put twice as many top 10 songs on the Billboard charts than the Beatles did. Isn't that amazing? Twice as many. He didn't have as many number ones, but he was huge over in the UK, over Britain, everything else, and obviously huge here in the United States. Happy birthday to Cliff Richard. All right, so everyone's banging me up. I was on 4 radio stations yesterday, 3 in Knoxville, 1 in Chattanooga. I was on ESPN Sports Radio up in Bristol yesterday. Want to know my take on this Alabama game. Janine Fox, good morning to you. Brandon Austin Morris as well. I think it's going to be a great game. I think it's going to be a close game. I do have Bama winning by 7. I got 35-28. Really, a lot of it has to do with Bryce Young. Is a 75% Bryce Young better than 100% Jalen Milroe? A lot of people probably say yes. I think for sure Bryce will get some playing time in the game. And I know they got him on a pitch count right now. That's what I'm hearing from Tuscaloosa. But as of right now, they're saying that he really can't further damage his arm. It's just a matter of whether he can deal with the pain. He's got that AC sprain in his shoulder, so we'll see what happens. But again, I think Jamar Gibbs is going to be a big part of that. Jamar's rushed the football 39 times in the last couple of games, got 360 yards, he's averaging 9.2 yards per carry the last 2 games. Unbelievable. And of course, as you can run the football, that's going to take a lot of pressure, not only after throwing the football, but also open up the play action, and it's going to stretch their defense a little bit. As far as in Tennessee goes, you know, obviously their offense is fantastic. They're one of the best in the SEC, but I don't know if they've seen corner rushers like Anderson or Braswell or Turner. I don't know if they've ever seen a defense like Alabama has. Now, despite the fact they gave up 20 points last week to A&M, let's remember just how good this defense is. 17 of those points were on turnovers, and we gave them short fields because of the Milroe fumbles. So, with that being said, I do think Alabama keeps Tennessee's offense in check. I think they check it down a little bit. Couple interesting numbers, though. Nick Saban, 15-0 against the Tennessee Volunteers. 15-0, which is hard to believe. He's 11-4 against the spread in those games, which is crazy. Josh Heupel, when he's leading at half, is 12-0 as the Tennessee Volunteers coach, so you want to get out early on those guys. And 2 other stats I think is really interesting. Tennessee is 28 of 28 inside the red zone. If they get in the red zone, they're getting points somewhere, somehow. So they can't make that happen. And also, we keep talking about the turnover bug. We had Roger Hoover, who works on the Alabama Sports Network and the Jay Barker Radio Network a couple days ago. I'll be back on Jay's show today at noon. We were talking about our football players. Brian Les, good morning to you, man. Steve McClinton, good morning to you, my brothers. Is Alabama football players or are Alabama football players sleeping with footballs? You better believe it. They lead the SEC in turnover ratio as far as in minus. Tennessee leads the SEC in plus turnovers or +5, -5. It's just coach speak. Stay in front of the chains. Convert your third downs and don't turn the football over. Same thing for every game. If Alabama has more turnovers than Tennessee does on Saturday, they're probably going to lose. That's how good Tennessee is. And I will say this, down here in Alabama, this has not been a rivalry for a long time. This is probably the biggest game since that 6 versus 7 matchup back in 1996. And, of course, 2 years later, you had the Tennessee Volunteers winning a national title under Phil Fulmer in 1998. But it's interesting because down here it's just another game. I mean, it's a big game. Don't get me wrong. It's a huge game, and Alabama fans want to win this game. But Alabama fans and Alabama football has been on the stage so many times. They've had a target on their back for so long. And for Tennessee, man, this is it, man. This is like I called up there, the radio station, the company that actually brought me to town from Louisville, Kentucky back in 1988 is in Knoxville, Tennessee. And they were huge Tennessee fans. And then, of course, we were the flagship station for Alabama down here. And, man, I used to go up there. That's when, every other year, Alabama, Tennessee would trade wins. And it was a rivalry. It was the third weekend in October. It hasn't been like that for a long time. But, man, you talk to people in Tennessee. If they don't win this football game, this is their best shot to win this football game like in 16, 17 years. There's going to be some crying on Rocky Top. There is going to be some crying on Rocky Top, and I cannot wait. We have 3 matchups of undefeated teams, including Penn State and Michigan, which is going to be a fantastic game. You got Oklahoma State, TCU, and you get Alabama, Tennessee. So much like every college football year, the dust is going to start settling after week 7. We'll find out what's going on. All right, make sure you download that TKR app, Tony Kurre Radio. If you're on Apple, TKR, just pull up TKR, super easy, the 3 letters. Download that app. You can listen to, we have like 10 or 11, 12, 13, 14 shows. I don't know how many shows we got. We got so many great shows, unique content, classic rock shows, blues shows, pet shows, computer shows. We have a spa show, When in Rome with Stuart Rome. I recorded that yesterday. Fantastic shows, wonderful shows. And on top of that, of course, search Tony Kurre Radio Podcast. That's Tony Kurre Radio Podcast. Wherever you get your podcasts, we're on every major indice. It would be fantastic. Al Cooper said if he lived in Tennessee, he would cry too. I remember going down there. I remember going up there every game, right? And we used to go to Calhoun's down there on the river and then make our way across, was it an interstate or some major highway or something? It felt like Frogger after having a couple and running across the road and then going up the hill. It is iconic, man. It's going to be a great game. I cannot wait to see it. All right, so listen to our podcast and check out TKR. And thank you so much. Again, thanks to the fine folks at Fox 6, WBRC, and, of course, all of our fantastic clients, including Al Cooper with CoosaValleyAutoSale.com, CoosaValleyAutoSale.com. Teresa Ponder Witt, good morning to you, baby doll. I hope you all have a fantastic weekend. Weather's fantastic. We got NBA tonight down at Legacy with the Pelicans and the Hawks. It's going to be a great sports weekend. I love you, and thanks for watching this morning right here on Tony Kurre Radio.